We're going to talk about suffering today. And you hear me smiling because I have a different perspective to offer you. We all know what suffering is. Suffering is being dissatisfied with our current situation and where we're at and wanting something different. And my question to you is, are what you're wanting really okay? And it's actually good and justified? And is it really the perspective of others that are keeping you from really enjoying what you really want? Today I'm going to go over 3 different ideas in which you can be empowered around the idea of suffering. Okay? The first one, I have a thought and a belief. What doesn't matter if it's around money or career or relationships or romance, whatever it may be. If I'm having a conversation with someone, a friend, a family member, a loved one, about the subject, and I feel that I am lesser than them and less empowered, or I have less power than them, I'm going to judge, or I'm going to receive anything that they have to say in criticism to who I am and what I want to do. As a judgment, it's going to disempower me, and then I'm going to go down that spiral of I'm not good enough and what I want to do really isn't that good, which is going to ultimately lead to suffering. Number 2, this is a place of neutrality. If by chance I'm having the same conversation with that same person, however, I feel unequal to them, nothing they say will disempower me, which will lead me to suffering. What will actually happen is a beautiful conversation between equals, where ideally both parties will walk away feeling empowered, educated, and enlightened on different subjects that they may not have been before. The third tier of that is if I feel more empowered than the person I'm having a conversation with. From that point, it's the flip of number 1, where I am exerting my power, energy, belief structures, resources over that person, making them wrong and saying that I'm right. This can also be a form of suffering in a sense. Putting someone on a pedestal, pedalization, ultimately leading to suffering because someone's not on my level and I'm having to convert them to my way of being. And if they could only see my way of being. So if you're at the top or you're at the bottom of that, my belief is that there's some component of suffering happening. What I witness, both personally and out there, is that a lot of people are more in level 1, where they have a thought, a belief, an experience that's being contrasted by society, by loved ones, friends, family, etc. And as a result, they're suffering because their belief structure is different than someone else's and they feel disempowered. They either feel disempowered or they feel that they are lesser than energetically, financially, emotionally, something. And from that, they put themselves below the other person who has a different opinion on them. And as a result, they suffer because where they currently are is different from where they want to be based on that other person's expectations of them. One way this manifests is in relationships. People who are in their 30s, late 30s, 40s, who are still single or been married and divorced. And there's an inherent shame around, oh, well, why haven't you yet, right? Or financially with business. Why haven't you found the career? Why haven't you found what makes you happy yet? Well, maybe they did. What if, here's the juxtaposing idea, or the different idea is, what if this person is actually okay with where they are? But society says you need to be here, and I'm only here. So if I'm only having, let's say, barely scraping bottom or a few $1,000s in the bank, and society dictates that I need to have $10,000 in the bank, I'm going to be suffering because I'm not there yet. There's the difference between the two. or if I'm not married yet, or I don't have the career of my dreams yet, or the house, or the whatever the material thing that society expects us to have, or the story, or the lineage, or the whatever that we haven't achieved yet. But what if, and here's the kicker, what if your job is to break the status quo? What if, barely skirting by like a monk, knowing that you are provided for, that your bills are paid, there's food in your belly, there's a roof over your head, there's clothes on your body, you have a wealth of friends, you have a wealth of experience, but you don't have a wealth of paperbacks in your financial account. I am rich beyond dreams, with career, with things that I love to do that brings passion to me, but I don't have the finances sorted. I'm suffering because there's one thing in my life that isn't working. What if we were to stop and turn around and say, oh my God, look at this mountain of abundance that I live with. But there's this one thing that's keeping me from being happy. And only if I get that, then I'll be happy, right? No. We've had people like Alan Watts, Jim Carrey, on and on and on, tell us that no matter where that bar is, once we get there, the bar is going to move, and it's going to move, and it's going to move, it's going to move. So suffering is inevitable, but it's optional. It's optional. Pain is inevitable. Suffering is optional. So from this, my invitation for you is to really look at where are you at in your life? And are you truly happy with where you are? All things aside, if society didn't matter, when you are solid and square in your own beliefs, are you happy with what you have? Not compared to the Joneses or next door. And if you are, own that and speak your truth. Become empowered from that place. Raise yourself up and be equal to the other, because you are worth it, and where you are is a beautiful place, regardless of what others say. Be empowered. Own your stuff, because we're all beautiful and blessed with where we are in every moment. So with that, thank you for listening. I love all of you. Make a beautiful and blessed day, and enjoy the beautiful gifts that you have in your life right now. Namaste.